Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're the place you come to get right into the heart of those really complex, mind-bending stories.
Yeah, we cut through the noise, give you the full picture, especially when things get, well, weird.
And today, things definitely get weird. We're strapping in for Blake Crouch's novel, Dark Matter.
This one's a ride. It's been called, a mind-blowing mix of sci-fi, suspense, even a love story, a thriller that really sticks with you.
And Blake Crouch, you probably know him from the Wayward Pines trilogy. He's got this knack for taking big science ideas and making them feel incredibly personal and, frankly, terrifying.
Absolutely. So our mission today, we're doing a full deep dive. We'll unpack the plot, the characters, and the physics, superposition consciousness that drives this whole thing. It all kicks off when our main guy's life gets stolen.
Stolen by himself, which is the crucial twist right from the start. Okay, let's set the scene. Who is Jason Desson before everything goes sideways?
Right, Jason Desson. He's fundamentally a good guy. Lives a pretty normal life, actually. He's a physics professor, but, not at some top-tier research university. He teaches undergrads at Lakemont College in Chicago.
And he lives in Logan Square, one of those classic Chicago brownstones.
Yeah, exactly. High ceilings, lived there for years. It's comfortable, filled with family stuff. Which brings us to his family, their key.
His wife, Daniela. She's an artist, right? The book describes her smile as architecturally impossible.
Yeah, it's this great line suggesting she's like the bedrock of his life. Solid, reliable, and like Jason, she put her own ambitions on hold.
For their son, Charlie.
For Charlie. He's almost 15. Talented kid, loves sketching. Jason's world really revolves around Charlie.
But this quiet family life, it wasn't the original plan, was it? There's this undercurrent of sacrifice.
Oh, definitely. That's central. Jason had big dreams. Serious research, long hours in the lab, maybe even chasing, the big prizes.
But then Charlie got sick.
Very sick, yeah, when he was just a baby. Major medical issues. Jason and Daniela realized they just couldn't handle the pressure, the time commitment of demanding careers. They needed stability.
So he gave up the research track, the funding, the momentum. And Daniela scaled back her art career ambitions too.
They chose family. Contentment, love over, let's say, professional glory. A deliberate choice.
But a choice that clearly still lingers. Which brings us to Chapter 1's big catalyst moment, the party for Ryan Holder.
Ryan Holder, his old college roommate. They're at the Village Tap, their old haunt, celebrating Ryan.
And the contrast is just brutal for Jason.
Completely. Ryan, who Jason practically carried through physics classes back in the day, just won the Pavia Prize. Huge deal in science.
That's right. Exactly.
For identifying the prefrontal cortex part of the brain as a kind of consciousness generator. Basically mapping where our sense of self originates. Ryan's a star.
He rubs it in Jason's face.
Well, maybe not intentionally malicious, but yeah. He corners Jason and says something like, "You're smarter than I am, Jason. Everyone knew it."
Ouch. The unspoken part being, and look what you did with it.
Exactly. It hits Jason hard. This idea that he settled, that he wasted his potential teaching Physics 101. He leaves that party feeling conflicted. Angry, even.
He admits to himself his life is good, it's great even, but it's not.
Not exceptional. Yeah, that's the word that haunts him.
And right then, in that moment of doubt, walking home with ice cream for family night, the abduction happens.
Yeah, this is it, the turning point. He stopped on a dark street, guy with a gun, but the mask.
The geisha mask. Yeah. Described with pitch black eyes, no pupils. Super creepy.
Beyond creepy. And the questions this guy asks, they're way too specific. He knows about Danny, Daniela's nickname. He knows it's family night because Jason's carrying ice cream.
And then the big one. Does he regret choosing Daniela?
Right. That question gets deep, especially after the Ryan encounter. Jason realizes this isn't random. It's personal.
He's forced to drive to some abandoned place near the lake.
An old power plant. He's stripped, injected with something, ketamine, plus some other clear liquid. The abductor, who's wearing Jason's clothes underneath his own coat, injects himself too.
And says that chilling line,
"I'm so sorry, Jason. I'm doing this for both of us." Then Jason blacks out. You immediately get that sense this attacker is Jason, an alternate Jason.
And fade to black, wake up somewhere else entirely. Chapter 2 throws him right into the deep end. No ditch, no alley.
Nope. He wakes up naked on a gurney, in a super high-tech sterile lab, bright lights, medical staff buzzing around.
And they know him. Or they think they do.
Yeah, that's the first shock. This Dr. Leighton Vance, who seems to be in charge, greets him like a returning hero, calls him Dr. Descent.
Not Professor Descent. Doctor.
Right. And everyone starts applauding, shouting, "You rock, Descent!" Like he just got back from some incredible mission. Total cognitive dissonance for him.
Understandably, his first thought must be, okay, the drugs. I'm hallucinating.
For sure. But that theory starts falling apart pretty quick. He has this debriefing, mandatory, with a therapist there named Amanda Lucas.
And she starts dropping truth bombs.
Big ones. She checks records. In this reality, there's no Daniela Desson in Chicago. Her phone number belongs to some guy named Ralph.
Oh, man.
And Jason Desson. Not a professor at Lakemont College. Never was.
So who is he in this world?
He's the Jason Desson, the genius, the one who won the Pavia Prize back in 2004, way before Ryan Holder in Jason's original world.
Okay, wait. He won the Pavia Prize. For what? Ryan won it for the consciousness generator thing.
This Jason won it for something even bigger, apparently, for putting a macroscopic object into a state of quantum superposition. It was hailed as the breakthrough of the year.
Okay, macroscopic superposition. We need to unpack that a bit. What does that actually mean?
Right, good point. So quantum mechanics 101, sort of. Tiny particles, like electrons, can exist in multiple states at once, right? On and off, here and there, until you measure them. That's superposition.
Standard quantum weirdness.
Yeah, but usually just for subatomic stuff. This Alt-Jason, this genius version, he supposedly figured out how to do it with something big, something you can see and touch.
He made a visible object exist in multiple possibilities simultaneously.
That's the claim, a massive breakthrough. And this place, Velocity Laboratories, wasn't just celebrating him, they were built around this tech. Alt-Jason's whole deal was figuring out how to break through what he called the brain's firewall. The thing that makes us experience only one reality.
To access the multiverse.
Exactly. The infinite possibilities implied by quantum mechanics. He wanted to travel between worlds.
Okay, so Jason puts it together. His wife and son don't exist here.
Yeah.
And his alternate self is this legendary physicist who cracked multiverse travel.
Yeah, the horror sets in. He's not hallucinating. He's trapped in a world built by the version of himself who chose science over love. And that triggers his escape instinct. Chapter 3.
The Great Escape. How does he manage it? It sounds like a secure facility.
Pure desperation. He rips off his monitoring bracelet, finds a bathroom, and squeezes through a tiny window. Runs for it, literally naked at first, until he can grab some clothes. He just needs to get out, to see Chicago, to confirm this isn't a dream.
So he escapes Velocity Labs. Where's the first place he goes?
Home. Or what should be home. He runs all the way back to his brownstone in Logan Square. It's wrong. Completely wrong. It's still his address, but the inside. It's cold, minimalist, super expensive looking, like an architect's portfolio piece, not a family home.
No family clutter, no kids' drawings.
None. The kitchen is spotless. Instead of family photos, there's this giant stark photo of a canyon. It screams successful but empty.
Oof. A symbol of the life Alt-Jason chose.
Pretty much. And then he finds the proof hanging on the wall, the Pavia Prize certificate. Jason Ashley Desson, it reads, for placing a macroscopic object into a state of quantum superposition.
There it is. Undeniable. Alt-Jason picked the lab.
Yep. So next logical step, the driving force behind everything for Jason. Find Daniela, if she exists here.
How does he track her down?
He uses old memories, tries phone numbers, eventually figures out she's having an art opening that night. The irony. The show's called Entanglement.
Huh. Of course it is. Physics puns everywhere.
Right. And it speaks to their weird, fractured connection across realities. He finds her there.
What's this Alt Daniela like?
She's stunning, successful, confident. She's basically achieved everything his Daniela gave up. She's a major player in the Chicago art scene.
Does she recognize him?
Oh, yeah. But not as her husband. She confirms their history in this timeline. He broke up with her 15 years ago, right when she told him she was pregnant.
He chose the research. Chose the superposition project over her and the baby.
Exactly. Coldly and deliberately. And the final kicker.
Let me guess. She's dating Ryan Holder.
Bingo. Alt Ryan Holder, the guy who didn't win the Pavia in this world because Alt Jason did. It's like all the roles got shuffled.
Wow. So the big question, Charlie.
Jason asks her, "Where's Charlie?" And she looks at him, completely genuine, maybe a little sad, and says, "We don't have a son, Jason."
And that just breaks him, right? That's the moment he knows for sure his life was stolen.
Absolutely. It confirms everything. He's alone. His other self built a multiverse machine, regretted his life choice, and came back to steal the life Jason had built.
But he doesn't have much time to process this because Velocity Labs catches up to him again.
Right. Chapters 8 and 9 are basically his recapture and the big tech reveal. they bring him back.
And this time they explain how it all works.
Yeah, Dr. Vance lays it out. He shows Jason the core invention, the box. It's this massive 12-foot cube made of gunmetal.
Just sitting there in the lab.
Pretty much.
Hmm.
Vance explains this is the device Alt Jason built. It creates the environment needed for macroscopic superposition. It's the gateway, the door to other universes.
But you need more than just the box, right? There was the injection.
Exactly. They explain the drug, that clear liquid. It was developed by Alt Ryan Holder, the consciousness expert from this world.
So Alt Ryan did contribute, just differently.
Right. His research on the prefrontal cortex, those Brodmann areas related to consciousness, was key. The drug temporarily messes with that part of the brain. It disables that firewall Alt Jason theorized about.
So the drug lets your brain perceive your own quantum state, see all the possibilities.
That's the idea. It lets you navigate the multiverse when you're inside the box's superposition field. It's the fuel, the key, whatever you want to call it. Consciousness-altering tech to enable world hopping.
Okay, so Jason now understands the tech, the box, the drug. But he's still a prisoner. How does he get out again?
Amanda Lucas helps him, the therapist. She's seen the difference between the ruthless Alt Jason she worked with and this Jason, the desperate father. She believes him.
She has a change of heart.
Totally. She slips him supplies, cash, some gear, and crucially, more ampoules of that drug. She helps him get to the box and basically shoves him in, tells him to run. That's the big moment in Chapter 10.
And he injects himself again.
Yeah.
What happens then? What's it like inside the quantum state?
It's described as this infinite corridor. Disorienting, terrifying, like seeing the raw code of reality. Endless doors lining an endless hallway, and each door opens onto a different possible world. A different Chicago.
Wow. So he just starts opening doors.
He has to. He and Amanda, she goes with him initially, step through into adjacent realities. And they are not pleasant variations, mostly.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, first one. They step out into a Chicago just covered in ash. Knee-deep, coal ash everywhere. Smells like a dead fireplace. Buildings are burnt out husks. Some catastrophe wiped this version out.
What else?
Then there's the opposite, almost. A super futuristic Chicago.
Yeah.
Gleaming towers, like a ridiculously tall glass tower, thousands of feet high, single-rail trains zipping around. Looks amazing, technologically advanced, but it's empty.
Yeah.
Soulless, no people, just the wind whistling through these giant structures. Maybe a reflection of Alt Jason's life.
Oh,
All achievement, no connection.
that makes sense. Any others that stand out?
Oh, yeah. They hit an Ice Age Chicago, buried in snow, frozen solid. Jason finds a family huddled together, frozen to death in their house. Just brutal.
God, that's awful.
It
really drives home how precarious any reality is.
Exactly. And then maybe the most emotionally devastating one, which really defines Chapter 11 for Jason. A world hit by some kind of plague.
He finds Daniela there.
So he finds a Daniela, dying in a makeshift clinic, weak, suffering. And he learns that in this world, their son, Charlie, he already died from the contagion.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And Jason, he can't just leave her there to suffer alone. He gives her a lethal dose of morphine, an act of mercy. He holds this version of his wife as she dies.
That must just steel his resolve to get back to his Daniela and his Charlie.
Absolutely. It becomes primal. Forget the science. Just get home. He figures his original world must be a recent branch. Easier to find, hopefully.
But it's not just about finding his way back, is it? There's another complication in Chapter 12.
A huge one. He discovers something called the Uber Chat. It's like this anonymous, encrypted chat room.
For who?
For other Jason descents. Dozens of them. Versions from other parallel worlds who also found or built a box, figured it out, and navigated back to this specific world line.
Like, multiple Jasons are converging on his home reality. Why?
They all want the same thing he does. His life. The life with Daniela and Charlie that their own choices denied them. They see it as the prize.
So his competition isn't just the original abductor Jason 2. It's potentially dozens of himself.
Exactly. The chat logs show like 72 active Jasons at one point. And they are not friendly. They're rivals. One of them casually mentions in the chat, I've already killed 2 of us.
Good grief. It's a Jason eat Jason world out there. How do you even prove you're the right one?
You can't. They all have the same core memories up to their branching points. It's an impossible situation, a deadly game of chess with infinite versions of yourself.
Okay, so Jason knows he's back in his home dimension, but walking up to his front door is basically suicide, with dozens of other Jasons potentially watching.
Right. Especially Jason 2, the original abductor, the genius one. He'd definitely be watching the house, waiting. Jason needs a way to get to Daniela alone, safely.
So what's his plan? This is chapter 13, right?
Yeah, it's actually pretty clever. If desperate, he decides to get himself arrested.
Arrested. How does that help?
He goes into a diner, makes a huge scene, lights up a cigar, refuses to put it out, gets belligerent. Classic disorderly conduct. He knows they'll call his emergency contact.
Which is Daniela.
Exactly. It forces her to come down to the police station alone, away from the house and any watching Jasons. It isolates her so he can talk to her.
Smart. So she shows up at the precinct. What does she see?
She sees him, but he's a mess. Ragged, skinny, bearded, wearing stolen clothes. He looks like a crazy homeless guy. And then he starts telling her this insane story about parallel worlds and alternate selves.
How does he convince her? It sounds completely unbelievable.
He needs proof, irrefutable proof, and he finds it. He asks the cops if he can make a call. He calls his own office number at Lakemont College, and Jason 2 answers. The guy who stole his life. Jason puts the phone on speaker. Daniela hears her husband's voice, the voice of the man she's been living with for the past month coming from the phone, while this ragged version sits right in front of her.
Whoa. That must have shattered her reality right there.
Instantly. That's the key moment. She knows he's telling the truth. He quickly explains everything, the box, the other Jasons, the danger they're in from Jason 2.
So they make an escape plan.
Yeah. They concoct a story for Jason 2 about going away to the Florida Keys just to buy time. Then they grab Charlie from school, telling him as little as possible initially, and they flee north to a remote cabin in Wisconsin they know.
Trying to get off the grid. But other Jasons are hunting them, right? Chapter 14 must be the confrontation.
It is. Despite their efforts, a group of Jasons tracks them to the cabin. It gets violent fast. This isn't theoretical physics anymore, it's survival.
Or Jason has to fight.
He has to. He ends up in this brutal, desperate fight with Jason 2, the original abductor, the genius who started it all. It's raw, hand to hand.
Does he win?
He manages to kill Jason 2, stabs him, and as Jason 2 is dying, he confesses he's already killed 4 other Jasons himself, and he would kill 1,000 more to keep this life. Just utterly ruthless.
So killing the original threat doesn't solve the problem.
Not at all. He kills another pursuing Jason 2. He realizes the horrifying truth. There are infinite Jasons out there who want what he has. They'll never stop coming. The danger is permanent as long as they stay in this world.
Which leads to the final heartbreaking decision in chapter 15.
Yeah. He looks at Daniela, at Charlie. He knows they can't live like this, constantly hunted. He has 1 ampoule of the drug left.
Just one.
Just one. Enough for one more trip through the box. He proposes the only real escape. They have to go together, as a family, into the box and choose a completely new world, one none of the other Jasons would know or have a reason to seek out.
Wow. Leaving everything behind.
Everything. It's an incredible leap of faith. They take the drug together, and then the box itself, it just appears near the cabin, like it's drawn to the drug's signature.
But they're not alone when they approach it, are they?
No, this is the climax, really. As they walk towards the box, they see them, dozens of other Jasons, maybe 50, maybe more, all standing there in the woods, watching.
All the other possibilities.
All the other lives he could have lived, the successes, the failures, the ones who made different choices, all converged on this single point, watching the family they lost prepare to leave reality altogether. They're just standing there in this stunned and eerie and devastated silence.
What a visual. So they get into the box, into the corridor.
Yeah. Jason, Daniela, Charlie. Inside that infinite hallway of doors, Jason realizes he can't choose the path based on his fear or his past regrets.
He gives the choice to Charlie.
He does. He tells Charlie, if you go in with fear, fear is what you'll find. He lets his son, the reason for his original sacrifice, choose their future. Charlie picks a door, an unknown door.
And they step through.
They step through into a completely unknown world, hoping for a fresh start, a place where they can just be a family, free from the shadow of infinite other selves. Hashtag tag outro.
Wow. What an intense journey. It really circles back to that initial insecurity, doesn't it? That feeling of having a great but not exceptional life.
Absolutely. And the book really forces you to ask, okay, if you could have any life, see all the branching paths, what makes the one you're actually living valuable? Jason had the chance to be the genius, the world changer.
But he fought tooth and nail to get back to being a college professor with a family.
Exactly. He found out the hard way that the mediocre life, the one built on love and connection, was the only one worth fighting, even dying for. Or, I guess, escaping reality entirely for. He didn't want exceptional achievement. He wanted his Daniela. his Charlie.
He validated that original choice, that sacrifice he made years ago. His identity wasn't about potential, it was about the life he actually built.
Which brings us to that final thought, maybe something for you to chew on. In this idea of a multiverse, where infinite versions of you exist, making every possible choice, living every outcome, what defines your identity, is it the single, unique path you're walking right now?
Or is it somehow the sum total of all those possibilities? That massive wave function of you. What does that final door they choose really mean? Does finding a safe, unknown world negate the value of the original choice or confirm it?
Deep questions to ponder, definitely gives you something to think about.
For sure. Well, it's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.